Gamers Anonymous is a proud member of the Penthouse Podcast Network. Episodes contain mature and rowdy commentary. Viewer discretion is advised. In a world where weebs and gamers get together to talk about anime and video games, this week we finish our trilogy of attacking some titans.
If that didn't already spoil it for you, we are definitely talking about our third episode of Attack on Titan, where we wrap everything up because, God, finally there's a last episode to this thing, right?
I know.
It's very crazy to think that we're here finally.
I know. Oh my god, dude. After all these years, we finally reached the end.
We started with Attack on Titan. We went halfway through with Attack on Titan, and we're done. And by started, I mean that was literally our first episode.
That would, dude, what a flashback. Oh my
know.
god. And back when we had guests?
Back when we actually had people on this thing? That is insane.
God.
Now we had our boy Carlos and our very sweet person, Daniela.
It was Richard, I think.
Or Daniela and Richard.
It was Daniela and
Daniela and Richard. I take it back. I don't know why well, to be fair, I associate Carlos and Daniela together because of the fact that,
yeah,
they are a thing.
Yeah.
But yes, back when we had Richard, where Richard actually loved us.
I miss Richard.
I miss Richard.
He left us.
All right, man. I'm sorry for all the jokes where you took off your shirt. It was for the plot.
It was for the plot, bro.
But yeah, we miss our homeboy, Richard. And I remember Daniela being on here, and she was like, "Why am I the only girl here?" Dude, there's nobody else that really watched anime.
It's hard.
So you're kind of stuck. But yeah, we conclude our trilogy with this last episode to wrap everything up with Attack on Titan that we have been speaking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
No more manga spoilers, no more any of that, because
it's done.
It's done.
It's over.
And all of you have watched it. I'm sorry, but if you still haven't watched it, you still have problems.
Sorry.
But yeah. But let's start it off how we casually do every single week. Norlin, what is your anime recommendation of the week?
2 words.
Ooh.
Gundam Wing.
Damn. I'm actually not so familiar. I haven't really caught up with a lot of stuff recently. So
dude, Gundam Wing is old.
No, I know.
Old.
Oh, okay. You're relating to the old one.
It's that. Yeah, I'm talking about the old Gundam anime. I still need to watch Witch from Mercury, I think is the new one.
I haven't watched it, yeah.
But I love Gundam. Always been a big fan, man. And nothing makes my lizard brain go burr more than the big robots go burr fighting giant other robots and intergalactic threats. Come on, bro.
And it's also gas. The opening is gas.
It is gas.
That's something that I will not fight you on. That is it's such a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anything else you wanna speak on it? If not,
really.
It's fine. I mean, it's self-explanatory.
The thing is, that's what I was hoping. It's like Gundam Wing is like
to be fair, I'm a huge sucker for that's a 90s anime, no?
80s. 80s. It's old.
Regardless of the fact, I love the animation. I feel like it gives it like a very nostalgic vibe to it.
Oh, it definitely does.
Like it's one of those things that I don't know. Like you can't really complain because of the animation. That's like saying you complain about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Like you really can't do that.
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the year it came out. I'm gonna Jamie it. Go ahead and give your recommendation while I Jamie this.
So something that I picked for this week's recommendation is something that is very new to this season in particular. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that it's said is Shangri-La Frontier.
Shangri-La Frontier.
Yes. Dude, it is such a nostalgic vibe to Sword Art Online, right? It kind of has the same concept around the whole VR being immersed into the actual like world type of system.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice refreshing touch to it. You got me? Like, Homeboy legitimately likes to do any type of game with no armor, being the fastest motherfucker you can be, and wearing a mask to conceal your actual avatar's face, which is hilarious because he picked the pigeon.
Nice.
or it's a type of bird.
I've always seen it pop up. Like people have recommended it to me. I still have yet to watch it.
It's pretty good. Like so far, at least I've enjoyed it. Like it has this nice comedic feel to it. It has the same type of vibe you would get from Sword Art Online, right? You get the same standard like protagonist. He basically plays. I forgot what type of games that he plays.
MMORPGs.
No.
They always play MMORPGs.
No, so it starts off a little bit different. He tries to play games that are more I don't remember the actual term he used, but that they're like kind of like broken games. They're not well made games. I forgot the terminology he used for it, but he gets recommended by the
like Sonic 06.
Yes. But he gets recommended games that are essentially he got recommended the game that's like a great MMORPG. What do you
Oh, we got a recommendation this week from our producer.
Dude, I have gotten that recommendation from a lot of people.
Our producer's recommending an anime named Blue Eye Samurai,
which apparently is really, really good.
I've heard good things. I just haven't had time to sit down and watch it.
Neither have I. I've been watching Peaky Blinders, so that's beside the point, right?
Peaky Blinders needs an anime.
Can you imagine?
A Peaky Blinders anime. Imagine Thomas Shelby being like, "Kono wa Thomas Shelby."
Thomas Shelby. But yeah, I recommend watching it. It's one of those that I didn't think I would like, and I really did. I love the comedic feel to it. I like how the actual action-packed anime is done really well, and the animation is also really, really nice. I will give that to it. But yeah, it looks dumb. It's actually very enjoyable. So I would even give it to you to kind of try watching it.
I'll give it a shot.
But yeah, you don't have to like it, but give it a shot.
That I will do.
All right, let's get started though before we get sidetracked into talking about UFC somehow.
Oh God, somehow. Always happens, especially on the video game episodes.
I know it's never really like the anime ones because I feel like we're very in touch with these.
You know what we got to do? It's like how Joe Rogan does. Joe Rogan has like a bunch of podcasts, and then he has like a UFC episode, and he talks about UFC.
Yeah, I think that's
we got to do that.
But let's get it finally started. I'm good. Thank you. As I said that our studio manager tried giving me a Corona and I can't.
Hell yeah, Corona.
Hell yeah.
I'm on medicine.
I'm not. I'm chilling. I'm on a good vibe right now, so
you're vibing right now.
We're good. But yeah, let's get to it, right? Let's finally be able to talk about Attack on Titan to its fullest and just kind of get through this last chapter, right? I feel like the last time that we left off on the second episode of Attack on Titan, we mainly spoke about up to season 4, right when Eren turns into
the Founding Titan.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where we left off.
That is where we left off. What were your main opinions about the way that it ended?
Controversial opinion. People didn't like the ending when I read it in the manga. People didn't like the ending when it ended in the anime. And you know what? I'm actually okay with it.
I'm very okay with it.
I didn't think it's like people were like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. Get over yourself.
Yeah. I think it did a really good job. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I like this anime did a lot better of kind of explaining that a little bit more thoroughly, and it was less Hitler World War II type genocide and more, I don't know how to explain it.
It's really hard to apologize for genocide here.
Correct. But 100%, look, I'm not condoning it like at all. But I'm saying like the way that the manga did it compared to the anime, I think that the anime had a much more softer blow to it than the manga did. In my opinion.
Very fair. It wasn't as jarring. Yeah. Yeah, the anime was definitely not as jarring as the anime. The anime was like nice and smooth. The fucking manga was balls to the wall. Insane bullshit. But what I want to touch more on is like, how did you feel about the animation?
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good, yeah, especially with like everything that was going on in that final fight.
And I feel like they needed the time.
Definitely.
Because look, Mappa, you're great and all, but homies, you people were taking projects left and right. Like, I think the time was well granted. Really failed at anything. Like, there wasn't anything that caught my, oh, why does this look like this? Or why did this not go as smoothly? You get me? Like, I feel like they genuinely took their time to finish something and take up on, like, the project.
CG. But then again, I'm like, man, but did you see the scale of the battle?
And it's really hard. Look, I I've seen a lot of CGI like type of like animes to then be able to go back to this and say like it really wasn't all that bad.
It was not bad at
I
all.
just feel like people are very accustomed to the standard style of like anime that once you see something that's a little bit different, you're like, oh, this shit's ass. And it's like, yo, if you really took the time to appreciate the fact that there's a lot of other animes out there that use the same style of CG and it looks ass, you would take a little bit of more time to appreciate it. That's just
That's true. I feel like people are just expecting to this point just perfection upon perfection, right? And it's okay if something doesn't look the best, but the story is what carries it.
exactly.
Even then, Attack on Titan looked great. It looked great through and through. Everything about it looked awesome.
It did. Like, you know what's funny? Now that I'm rewatching it with my girlfriend, right? We got to season 2, right?
Mhm.
She just got to the episode where she saw the Beast Titan, and she, mind you, this is coming from the same girl that said that anime has no emotion. So I forced her
Mm,
to watch Attack on Titan.
there you go.
But to be fair, I've seen my fair share of reality TV, so I don't know who's really the winner and who's the loser. But um,
Love Island. Well, actually, Jamie, I
hey,
love Love Island,
dude,
dude.
it gets super interesting, and then to the point where like even if I want to deny that it's not interesting, I'm embedded into it. But that's beside the point, right? We're at season 2, and mind you,
Mhm.
Wit Studio was still carrying the animation. And season 2, by far, I think is one of my favorite seasons for Attack on Titan.
Oh, definitely.
All right, like
It's very
it,
political. Has such a good build up.
such a good build up, and right. But going back to, I want to say the animation, right? That's what we were touching base on.
Hmm.
I actually kind of like how Mappa has done the animation over Wit Studio.
Interesting. That's because you haven't rewatched season 3 yet.
That is true.
That is because you
I
haven't
that
rewatched
is
season 3.
mm,
Season 3 is peak Attack on Titan in terms of animation.
yeah, like especially the scene with Kenny and all these
And
people versus
Levi.
Levi. Yeah, like
Oh,
I'm not
brother.
saying that it's not. You know what it is? I feel so much. It's the character
The Wit
design,
Studios employees were vomiting blood, bro.
dude. Those people were working overtime on top of overtime.
Too much.
Yeah, but maybe you're right. Maybe I do gotta go back to it. Like I know it's insane, but I'm mainly so more much touched about how the character design and the art of the world around them looks a little bit more.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
It does make sense.
Okay. I don't know what it is. I really don't.
I don't know.
I think both
Mappa.
studios did great.
I think Mappa
right?
kind of saved itself a little bit in terms of being compared to Wit by a tiny bit because it's all post time skip stuff that they have going on,
Yeah.
right? So it's like fresh with all the designs and everything, and you also see like how like exuberant and big the world is now too.
Okay. How did you feel? Well, I don't know your answer, but how did you feel about the relativeness of the anime and the manga?
I thought it was good. I liked how accurate it was.
Okay.
Like they stayed to the story, which is good. A lot of people were like, "Oh, they're gonna change the ending for the anime." I'm happy they didn't.
I think we can both agree on that. I genuinely like the way that it ended.
Okay, there's one thing that I'm happy with that we all knew was gonna happen. Aaron had to die.
Yeah.
Aaron 100% had to die. He killed 80% of the world's population. Or it was actually no, it was higher. It was like 88, 80, 90 or something like that. Of the world's population. He needed to die. He was the villain.
Yeah.
He was the villain.
Uh,
He was a bad guy, man.
would you say
Because
villain or antagonist?
both. Because at the end of the day, what he did didn't matter. The cycle continued.
Oh, 100%.
The cycle of hatred continued. And that's what the epilogue shows. The cycle continued.
That's true. But then again, that doesn't really. I wouldn't say so much that determines him as a villain, so much more of an antagonist because of the fact that it's humanity that's the problem.
Yeah, it's true.
You get what I mean? Like, you can look at it both ways, right? You destroyed 80% of humanity, but in turn, it was all. He didn't care so much about the rest of the world. Of yes, in theory, would make you a villain, right? You're
Mhm.
killing 80% of the the population.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was all done for the people he cared for. Which a villain really wouldn't do that. A villain is just pure evil to the point where you do not care about others. Like the same way you wouldn't say what's this guy? Lelouch
Lelouch,
from. Oh my god, I can't remember.
Kogias.
Code Geass. I think he was an antagonist more than he was a villain.
I don't know. It really depends because he was fighting against an oppressive system.
That's true.
Aaron, on the other hand, was he fighting against an oppressive system? Yes,
Yeah.
kind of. But he killed a lot of innocent people
100%.
that had nothing to do with what was going on, even from neighboring countries that had nothing to do with.
That's a hard one.
I don't know. It's not, again, whether it's just whether if you agree with Aaron and you think it's justified or not. At this point, I don't think it matters. It's over. I do like the ending. I like how he became a bird.
The one thing, the one thing that you can tell, I think that the difference between the manga and the anime, in the manga it is Jean, no, who Mikasa ends up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the anime, and this is where it gets really funny, because you know how many countless fucking memes I've seen where it's like,
Oh,
Aaron just fucking taking a shit on like Jean, or just
he's there at their. It's like Mikasa and John on their first date, and then a bird comes in and takes the food from like a plate.
I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. I don't know as to why they didn't emphasize it as much on the anime as they did on the manga. Which
they just wanted to do a little Passover on it because that was people's biggest problem with the anime was the fact that they're like, oh brother, Aaron is only in it for like he's like he had a crush on Mikasa this whole time and Ymir stopped and but people had such a big problem with that, and I think that's why they changed. They just glanced over it.
Possibly. Actually, that brings up another kind of interesting topic in mind. How do you feel about the whole? Well, I remember one of our coworkers essentially was like pissed at the fact that Aaron became like a simp when he was talking to Armin throughout the anime. How did that make you feel? And you know what scene I'm talking about?
I know what scene you're talking about. At the end of the day, I didn't really care about that because he had to change. He had to sacrifice so much. He had to suppress how he felt the whole time because he did what in his mind needed to be done,
Yeah.
right? And there was no room in between for that, right? For love or any emotion. So I don't see it like it doesn't upset me as much as it upsets some people because people in their mind they're like, oh, fucking Sigma male, Patrick Bateman, behavior there, but I don't think so. Like it doesn't really bother me.
Like, you know how I look at it as? It's kind of like, dude, Aaron at the time being was 19 years old.
Yeah, it was good.
Do you realize how much of a burden that is on a 19-year-old to be able to take up all on their own? Like, you're basically sacrificing everything, my guy. Like, it's only normal for you to play such a role for such a long time for you to eventually break down and genuinely express how you feel. Like, I kind of like that they added it. It gave such a subtle way of vulnerability
It did.
to the character that I think it added so much more to
It made him more of a
him
guy.
as a character. Correct. It made him more of an actual person. I think that's what it tried to symbolize. Honestly, in my opinion, you get me. Like it tried to make him more human.
It humanized him.
Like,
because
this
the
is
entire
only
time
natural.
he's been like a monster.
Correct. And
this
not only
final
that,
act.
but throughout your whole life, you have been carrying such a burden of this is what I have to do so that I make sure that everybody that I care for is well off, right?
Taken
That
care
it
of.
never gave you the time to genuinely sit down with how the fuck you really feel.
Exactly.
And for you to break down at the last second with the person that you deem as a best friend, I get it.
I get it.
I get it. Like it's only natural for like if it would have been weird if he didn't have that reaction. You get me? Because that yes, that would have improved to me that he would have been much more of a villain.
Yeah. I'm actually inclined to agree. It added humanity to him again, right? At the end of the day, I do think it kind of like it softens the blow of like how jarring his character was. But yeah, man, it really added depth to Aaron that he was missing.
Yeah.
It rounded him out.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a nice touch to it. I know that a lot of people didn't really like it. But like I said, I think it added good depth to his character.
It definitely did.
Like it built upon whatever he was trying to become in the very end. Like it went back to show you who Aaron really was, especially being able to see that he can see that all the past and the future and the present was all together.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't know. I think it did well for his character. In my opinion at least.
Yeah.
Like it did well.
Yeah, man. I think this will be a good spot to talk about like our favorite moments from like the anime overall,
Yeah.
right? Like a big retrospective. My favorite scene in the entire like manga and anime series is when it's after the rumbling begins
Okay.
and Aaron is like, and then we get actually a flashback to what Aaron was doing during the time skip, and he starts talking to and then like out of nowhere you see like this backstory of like this random little kid, and like he's everywhere, and like you see them, and then at the end, at the end of their flashback scene, you just see Aaron out of nowhere grab the kid and hug him and start crying,
Yeah.
like saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," because Aaron knew
It's the attention
that
to
he was
detail.
gonna kill him, and then they flash forward back to the rumbling, and you see a footprint where the kid was stomped.
Yeah, like that's another thing,
Drove
bro.
me that drove me to tears when I
No.
read it, and when I saw it in the anime.
You know what drove me even more to tears? Then this is adding more to what you're literally like speaking about. It's I don't know if you remember I think you do. It's the scene where he's essentially it's the same thing with the flashback, right? Where he's walking down like the little town or the city he's in, and he sees like the pregnant woman and her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks at them, and it's the face of like disgust on
And
his
like
face
anguish,
and
yeah,
anguish, and it takes you back.
because
And then
he
it's-
knows what's gonna happen.
Correct. And then it takes you back to there's the scene where essentially oh my god, the colossal titans are all walking forward and all the people are going over the cliff, and everybody is collectively basically pushing the child, like not even a child, it's a baby. It's a literal baby.
It's an infant.
It's an infant all the way back, and the mother is falling off the cliff. Like he knew.
You knew. He saw all their deaths.
And that's insane. Like again, it's mind-blowing to
That
me
makes the
that's
scene where when he grabs Historia's hand and he kisses her
even
hand.
that's another moment.
Because that's all he saw.
Exactly.
He saw all of that in a single instant.
Mind you, and he knew he had to continue carrying it out, which was even more insane.
Mhm.
Like
Aaron was a menace, man.
again, like I said, the attention to detail was
Yeah, Isayama killed
definitely
it without. Isayama killed it with that.
without even like a question of doubt. That man had every single purpose there, right?
He did.
Mine's is much more simpler than yours. Yours was very complex. Mine's was finally being able to see fucking Levi just kill Zeke
Oh
after
yeah.
so long.
That was
The man was
great.
like, Levi, what's up, buddy? Immediately, that man's fucking head was chopped the fuck off.
Yeah.
He knew that he made Erwin proud.
Even after he blew him up.
Yeah, I
Even after he got blown up.
dude.
I also like when Zeke got like fucking demolished by Eren in the Founding Titan world. He's like, hey, Ymir, I'm related to you. And she's like, I don't give a shit.
And
Eren's
he goes,
like, I'll give you
"Fuck,
freedom.
I'll give you fucking freedom. You will be your own person."
And she's like, I choose him.
Yeah, fuck you, guy. I'm going with the motherfucker that said freedom. Yes.
Yes.
And then the bald eagle showed up with fireworks.
Yeah, for real.
And all
Oh, no, it's a seagull.
that. But yeah, like I don't know. I thought it was super dope. Like, don't get me wrong. Erwin's speech is really fucking crazy. And regardless whether you listen to it in English or Japanese, it is fucking sick and nonetheless ever so empowering.
Oh, dude. I wake up and I go to the gym every day and I work out to that speech.
Oh, it's fantastic. And you know what's even fucking crazier? When Floch was going up against the damn new Jaw Beast / Beast Titan,
Oh, dude, Floch did not give a shit.
Floch had Erwin's, and I said this in every single fucking episode. Maybe not the first one, because the first one we didn't want to get to spoilers. But I know I said this in the second episode because I can go back to it. That man had Erwin's speech going through his brain.
He did.
24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And I can respect that man for it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Floch was a weird guy, bro.
What do you mean, man? That boy.
Floch was a weird guy, bro. That guy liked Eren a little too much.
A little bit.
But like, is it not even like in a weird romantic way? He was just obsessed with like him.
I think it was mainly much more with the
You
mentality.
know what it was? I think it was more like an idealistic type thing. Like he
Yeah.
viewed Aaron as a god.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you're not wanting your home territory. I wouldn't say world because it's part of the same world.
In your home territory,
Your
yeah.
home
Your island.
territory, right? Your island as a sacred thing.
Yeah.
You kind of have the only choice to view it as Aaron being like not per se such a god,
Yeah.
but as the savior.
Very true.
So it's kind of like going back to the same topic we had back then in those episodes where it was like, would you agree much more with Marley or would you agree more with
Neither. They both
Paradis?
suck.
They both suck, 100%. But see,
Marley's literally like Hitler Youth programming.
correct. But then again, we go back to each side has their own story, and it just matters on what side you were born in. Like
That's
that
true.
is it. There is no like right or wrong because there's two different worlds trying to kill each other.
That's true.
Like there is no wrong or right answer. It just happened to be that Paradis wanted to fucking stop Aaron.
That's very true.
But in the end, it's like Paradis still won. And Aaron technically didn't win in the long run of time.
He
But
bought them time.
But he won in his time.
He bought them time.
And
yeah.
by that I mean they became the heroes who stopped Aaron from destroying all of humanity, which was part of his plan. Again, he accomplished what he wanted for his timeline. Everything else goes back to humanity being a piece of shit.
That's true. Damn, you got me there.
I mean, yeah, like you got me like obviously the greatest game plan would have been for all of humanity to learn from its mistakes and been able to essentially, hey, we went through so much shit. Let's learn from it and let's build a better society, right? Which unfortunately we seen even in the real world, it's never really the case.
It's never easy.
Right? Like we went through one world war to go into a second world war, right? Thankfully we haven't gotten to a third, right? But it's not to say that the world will never get there because I feel like we will. Eventually we will because what's the fucking saying? We're doomed to repeat history if we don't learn from it.
Yeah.
Which is the exact same message that Isamaya decided to portray into the actual like.
And they didn't learn from
they
it.
They didn't shit. I love the fact that in the ending credits to Attack on Titan in the epilogue, like it was awesome that we saw so much, right? We saw Mikasa over the years, right? She died, had a whole family, but she would still go back to Aaron's grave. The tree, right? It changed over time. You see in the background how society changes and everything changes and how we start off really well and we say, hey, so much bad stuff has happened, but as generation changes, we see everything just go back right to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say that the way that it ended is open to interpretation, which I like, right? Yes, he could have fallen down the same fucking tree, but again, remember how Ymir's thoughts connected to the, what's the thing called? The little centipede looking thing?
The Founding Titan thing?
Yeah, but it has an actual name.
I forgot the name.
Yeah, but you get the point, right? It was her thoughts with that connected into creating the power of the Titan. Who knows what the hell that little boy would think?
I don't know. I think it's the same. He's going to get powers. Who knows what 100%. It's going to be. Because that's Aaron's Street.
I still think that we will go back to the same thing. You get me? Like, it's going to be based off someone has more power than other, wants to take over the whole thing, gain more power, and how am I going to help to stop it?
Definitely. The cycle's going to continue, right? And that, I think that's a great place to, like leave it off, right? It's like, we're going to cycle back and we're going to talk about Attack on Titan in the future.
And I love the way that it ended. I really did.
I do too.
It puts everything into perspective. It also ties back to how anime doesn't just have to be a story you create just because. I think that it portrays a really good message for the real world as well. You got me? Like, you can put a lot, and I mean a lot, of the same emphasis that you found in there into a real world. And you can say that for any anime, honestly. Like, there's a lot of things and a lot of other animes. I just thought that the way that this was done was much more well adapted to it.
I agree.
But yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Honestly, I have no words. It's like if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it.
Go watch it. It's something that's gonna definitely blow your mind, in the sense of watching everything kind of just
Unfold.
unfold. Like you go from 0 to 100, and the way that it's explained, the way that the story progresses, the way that it goes from, oh my god, it's just titans killing people, to, oh my god, there's politics in this world, to, oh my god, now we found out how this is even a thing, and then it unravels to a whole different thing, and then it just cycles right back.
It's true. If you guys haven't had watch Attack on Titan, now's your time. It's over.
100%. I
Which
think you have the
means-
beauty of just
Yeah.
binging it, which is fantastic. There is no need for you to stop, wait another 2 years to go
Mhm.
back to it, and then be like, oh no, you just basically get to enjoy the whole thing from start to finish.
Exactly. You get to witness the masterpiece.
Beautiful. But yeah, I feel like this is a really good way to leave off this episode. I think we hit a lot of good points.
Yes, sir. I agree. And hey, guys, if you want to watch us play a masterpiece, catch us watching A Plague's Tale Requiem live. We got it on 7 different consoles, so we're all gonna play it at the same time
7?
on 7 different. I don't know. Chen told me he got the game on multiple consoles for us
Hell
to play.
yeah, bro.
So we're gonna have like 3 different consoles. We're all gonna be playing at the same time in rat costumes with a wheel of punishment.
with real rats from New York. Let's not forget about the key details here.
Yeah, no, we're
okay?
gonna have the real rat.
The king size rats. But yeah, feel free to basically catch up with us on any of our social media like handles. Let it be on basically Instagram or TikTok, which I'm gonna say first because it's the same, which is WAGA Podcast. Right? If you're X/Twitter or whatever the hell Elon Musk decides to do with his life, right? It's WAGA Podcasts with an S at the end, and it still makes me more mad to the first day that I actually created it, because why?
Hey Twitter, you're losing a bunch of advertisers. We'd advertise if you sponsor us.
Also, don't charge for an account, because I will literally leave Twitter that fast.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, and then just feel free to tune in and us playing Plague's Tale.
Requiem.
Other than that, I hope you ladies and gents have a very nice rest of your day/night or anything. But yeah, catch you guys on the next episode.
See you guys.